Greetings, I'm Nevin Dulabom, president of Eder Financial. You may recall that last fall, we announced that we had sold our annuities from Eder Retirement Plan to Securian Financial. Well, today I am delighted to update you on the final step of that transaction. Upon completion of the transfer of our annuity funds to Securian Financial to meet the obligation of paying all of the annuities for the lives of our members, we identified that we still had remaining funds in our account. So, in the coming weeks, members who annuitize prior to November 5th, 2024, will receive their portion of the remaining funds. While this is great news for former retirees who received a monthly annuity check from us, I know hearing this news may spark questions for some. So, I'd like to take a moment to explain. But first, a little history. The story begins back 16 years ago, just as I was taking this job as president of Eder Financial's predecessor company, Church of the Brethren Benefit Trust. The U.S. housing market was falling. Major banking institutions in the country were folding. The world's investment markets were in distress, and the U.S. stock market fell more than 50%. Up until that time, Eder Retirement Plan was in great financial shape. When you are in the Eder Retirement Plan and you want to start receiving retirement income, one option you have is to purchase an annuity. At the time when someone wanted to purchase an annuity, we would project how long the member and their spouse were expected to live. We would determine how much money they had to purchase the annuity, and we assumed that we would grow their funds each year by 4.5%. From that data, an annuity payment amount that they would receive for the rest of their lives was calculated. A healthy retirement plan that offers annuities will have a fund of 100 cents today for every 100 cents it needs to pay out over time. That is called fully funded status. An annuity fund that has less than 100 cents on the dollar means that the fund is underfunded. The more a fund is underfunded, the more risk there is that the fund could run out of money and default. In 2009, the Eder Annuity Fund fell to 55%, meaning we had 55 cents on the dollar. We were concerned the market could decline even further, and so we reduced all of the annuities by an average of just under 20%. Our retirees were mad and frustrated, and who could blame them? But we believed it would be better to lower annuity amounts each month than to perhaps run out of money and leave our retirees without anything. At that time, I vowed that if we ever got to fully funded status again, we would try to make an additional payment to these people. I also vowed that we would try to sell our annuities, transferring the annuity risk to a secular insurance company that has to, by law, have a much stronger funded status ratio, and whose members are covered by state insurance should that company go out of business. As a church retirement plan, Eder retirement annuities did not have that safeguard. So for the next 12 years, Eder board and staff worked diligently to grow the annuity fund back to fully funded status. And on December 31st, 2021, we were fully funded. Hallelujah! But unfortunately, by the time we received that report, which took 6 weeks to produce, the markets had tumbled and we were only about 88% funded. At that time, I asked, what would it take to sell our annuities to a for-profit insurance company? The answer was that we would have to transfer the entire annuity fund plus an additional $40 million. Yikes! The reason it would have cost so much is because interest rates were so low, barely above 0%, and insurance companies provided annuities at a much lower interest rate than the rate that we were providing at 4.5%. That meant the insurance companies would lose money if they bought our business and had to pay higher rates than they were earning. That's why we would have to pay $40 million to sell our annuities to make up for this loss that they would occur. So we continued to manage the fund carefully, the board of Eder and the staff nursing the fund back to fully funded status. In February of 2024, I read an insurance company had just bought annuities from a small company. I thought. I wonder if the situation has changed, and if now possibly we could sell our annuities. Well, something had changed. Interest rates had now risen up to about 7%, which means insurance companies could earn more than the rate that we were paying, which meant an insurance company that purchased our annuities would now have a favorable spread of about 2.5% and could make money on our business. So it's no surprise that insurance companies now wanted to buy our annuities. And so we worked furiously on one of the most complex transactions we've ever done. The result was a blessing. Because the investment markets were at an all-time high, the value of our annuity fund was also at an all-time high. Going into the process, we were a bit worried that perhaps no insurance company would bid on our annuities, but we received 5 preliminary bids in early October, and on October 31st, we sold our annuity fund to Finacial, working quickly to make the transaction before the markets fell or interest rates went back down, perhaps then taking away our ability to sell the annuities. After all of those years of being underfunded, because the markets and the interest rates were both at 15-year highs, we actually had some surplus funds left over after we sold the annuity fund. So, in the coming weeks, our members will be receiving their portion of the extra money, as it's their money, it's not ours. And their annuities are protected for life, and we no longer have the liability of the annuity fund and the fear that it could run out of money if the markets fell again and interest rates went back down to near zero. It is not necessary for anyone to contact us concerning the distribution of additional funds. We are working to distribute the money to those who had Eder annuities in a fair manner. Once the methodology is finalized, we will communicate directly with the recipients. While we anticipate this news is welcomed, there are some important things that you will need to consider and decisions you will need to make if you will be receiving one of these distributions, as the additional income could unfavorably impact people on Medicaid, and it could perhaps push someone into a higher tax bracket. So to assist you through this process, detailed information will be provided on our website, ederfinancial.org. On a more personal note, it gives me great joy to bring this news to you. As president, there are times when I have to make really hard decisions. Reducing the annuities in 2009 was as gut-wrenching for us as it was upsetting for those who received the reduction. For 16 years, the Eder team has worked hard to bring the funding status back up, and I am very proud that we were paying attention to the investment markets and the interest rates to understand when the opportunity to sell the annuities finally came. It is moments like this that make me extremely proud to do what I do, proud to uphold the integrity this company was founded upon, and proud to serve our wonderful members. It has been an honor to serve each of our retirees. Enjoy the payment you will receive from us in the coming weeks, and please visit our website as we will keep that information up to date. If you have other questions, please contact Russ Crucial at retirement@eder.org or call the number on your screen. Blessings to you.